Okay, hello, welcome in. Going to do a recap for the Anitomo Level Up IRL Health and Wellness presentation. So first, wanted to celebrate how awesome the event was and thank Eileen for the chance to speak. And it was more of a forum, so I'm really happy now to also give you guys more of like a traditional slideshow so you can learn and take home that information if you also were not able to attend. And then it'll be on the YouTube for you to enjoy and take in. Should be good with the recording. You got a little bubble of me, and then whatever way is pointing right, you'll have the slide on the other one too. So yeah, a little quick recap. Anitomo is all about Japanese culture and making friends. So you're like, who's this guy? Who is he? Great question. Thanks, Junior. So we'll kind of like go to the first slide. We'll skip a few slides because, well, a little bit different order than presentations since you can kind of watch this. But first, I guess, what I would have done if we were in person, we would have started here and done a little making friends. Since Anitomo was about making friends and connection, first 5 minutes of the presentation slide discussion would have been just, I would have passed out some papers. One part would have been making friends, just to write in, pass out some pens, and then part 2 would have been taking notes, a little printout I had for you guys. So kind of Bankai, one of the classic friendship makers in anime. For me, One Piece is huge. Really love it. So I figured the other two, Naruto and Jujutsu Kaisen, be fun. But yeah, right, 5 minutes of making friends at any convention I think is really important, because conventions have become so different in the current age. Right, how crazy that Japanese culture and anime has become so popular. I'm 34, so I grew up in the 90s with DBZ, Pokemon, One Piece, later Yu Yu Hakusho. And how cool, it's become such a main part of Comic-Con. It's huge, major part of the New York Comic-Con. And there's so many anime conventions, and it's so cool that Anitomo can offer kind of that older feel of a convention, right? Kind of like back in the day when conventions started popping up in the 70s, 80s. And we get to have that sort of more personal feel and touch thanks to Eileen, her vision of giving us a free convention, also free, our favorite number, and also promoting it to give access to those not as privileged and having the opportunity to go to these larger cons. So that's really cool too, being able to share that and inspire the next generation of Japan lovers and anime lovers. So I'm happy to be a senpai in any way that you'd love to have me as. I'll guide you in best I can, or if I can't, I will point you in the direction. So it's very cool to see the conventions having grown and changed. So it kind of reminds me of a story of my Aunt Ba, who grew up reading comics in the 70s. Those first conventions, you could meet celebrities like George Takei or your favorite writer and actually meet them. She got to meet one of hers in the elevator and got him a beer, one of her key moments. So I think that's one of my key sort of takeaways, leave today with, is creating those moments in your life and following your passion. And in this case, Japan was mine, but if yours is different, or maybe it becomes Japan, how can you be inspired to take action and then pursue those interests? So that would have been kind of part of my first little chatting with you guys here. So making friends, kind of trying to inspire you, or at least lead with my story, so then you can write the next chapter for yours. So who is this guy? Well, you may have met me at the convention, and Adam here, / Clavier, one of the two is good. And my history with Japan goes back to, right, watching anime as a kid, Pokemon, Sailor Moon, DBZ. And then I later went to study it as a minor in college. And the real key part, so we'll get more to my facts a little bit. But this story here is I did a homestay with this family. And it was a month in Japan. Best month of my life. This experience really shifted my life into a different tract. And this is why I'm here today. And was at Anitomo to share, make friends, and hopefully be like, hey, like, go do it, go travel, make the time for whatever calls you. So this was the host family on the first day, the last day of that month, and then this was 11 years later when we met up in LA, and it was so cool. They messaged me and were like, we're going to LA, and I'm like, I'm there. So they are a second family to me. So in a weird way, I consider myself basically Japanese because I do have Japanese family. Culturally, thinking wise, I would say I'm pretty similar to Japanese thinking, which makes it a good fit. So if in 10 years you see me with kids, you'll know what happened. But then going back, so who is this guy? So you can see I have that connection to Japan, and then when I came back, my work was, I don't have a picture here, but more storytelling is I bought and sold Magic the Gathering Pokemon cards for like 5 years, and then did events, I did the conventions, and that kind of brought us to COVID, which definitely changed a lot of our lives. So that brings us to this picture. During that time, just kind of with relationship not working out, COVID, life being uncertain, we can see that, we kind of are, our weight will fluctuate, not a problem. And now I am shifting to a new career into, part-time health and wellness. Want to encourage that in others. In between that, I did work at Starbucks, as you can see here, for 4 years. So that was kind of during the COVID. And then my current money job is warehouse employee for shipping and stuff. I am looking to go back to Japan. That is definitely on my radar very much. It's always been calling me in terms of interests. Pokemon Go, a fan of adventure. Coffee. I will connect with anyone over coffee at least for an hour or quick call. Happy to do that. Weightlifting. That's, kind of goes with you can kind of see that. And then I do cosplay a little bit. Getting older, it's a little bit different because there's only so much time in a day and so many conventions, and it's exhausting. So I totally get you have to pick and choose what is important and fun to you. I'm so sorry. A little bit of talking. So basically, my experience with Japan was so good that I really want to encourage others to also pursue something that interests them. But we'll move to the main topic today. So I'll give you the abridged version. This would have been more interactive at this point, and then during the whole asking questions, kind of seeing where the audience is at. Specifically here, I would have asked you all, why are you here? What does fitness mean to you? What are your goals for your body, physique, and exercise? If that's appropriate and you want to share. We all have different bodies, different goals, different diets, different regimens for exercise, movement, and then seeing kind of where people are at, because you can be, if you're older, right, it's going to be looking different than if you're in college, and how you can incorporate movement and exercise. But the basics remain the same, so happy to share those today. And each slide has a bonus because Anitomo is Japanese related. You get to learn Japanese word. You're welcome. No problem desu ne. So aruku, to walk, is a fitting one. And we want to move like Naruto, in this case, or Saitama. It's pretty simple, going for that 8 to 10,000 steps a day. As a society, the cultural zeitgeist has really shifted. We're very much desk-sitting people. And zeitgeist, for those who don't know, is one of my favorite words. It basically means the cultural sort of understanding where the society as a whole is at, sort of that underlying frame of mind. And it can be different, depending on the generation too. So being a millennial versus Gen Z or Alpha, etc. Boomers, we all have slightly different priorities, as well as goals, and you could even relate similar to people of different generations. But just sort of like cool word to add to your next Scrabble. And TLDR, you want to start small. So if you're not walking much now, great, easy to improve. You can add walking after meals, hanging out with friends, like go to a park. New York, plenty of parks. Central Park, Brooklyn Bridge, wonderful walk. High Line, some of my favorites. But then making that time with people to connect with them, because then it's a 2-for-1 for like fitness, connection. Por qué no los dos? I know. Espanol, pero Japanese too. So a good way to start tracking that is by using a smartwatch, pedometer, any kind of app to just track the steps. And anyone will do. It's just really getting that baseline of where you're at now, and then you can increase movement. Now you can add more rigorous movement like running, jogging, and it's recommended to go for about 5 days a week for about 45 minutes to an hour, or you can go for like half an hour 3 times a week, or any kind of combination thereof. The NASM does recommend those, but honestly, I feel as long as you're moving and you're getting some kind of, you're getting your heart rate up, that's the real goal here. And you're starting from wherever you're at now, so you can only go up, and that's fun. It's this is part of we're crafting your journey for your health and wellness, and you're being your best self to be present for your friends, family, kids, and also taking a break from your phone. They are too present, too taking over our life, so keep that in mind too. And basically, movement, it's pretty straightforward, I would say. The problem with something like jogging is it requires a bit more skill. So to just go straight from no jogging to jogging, it is a bit of a skill acquisition period because your body's not used to it. You're adding new movement. It's more joint stress, or something like the elliptical is also good for that cardio without the joint, or swimming. Basically whatever you'll do to move, do that. It doesn't necessarily have to be walking. So leaving you with that message of, hey, you like to swim? Swim. You like basketball? Basketball. You like jumping jacks? You like dancing? Whatever you can do most consistently and have fun with. Because that's, right, this is fun. We're going to be doing this for the next, until you're really, really old. So for me, I love walking. So I do, it's simple. You can do it with anyone, anywhere. You can walk, you can talk, podcast, watch something, watch a movie. It's a little tough, but you could, find a treadmill at the gym and go from there. So now we'll get into the eating part, since that's equally important. So I'm going to be the bearer of bad news for a few things. One, cardio will not let you really lose weight long term. To lose weight and change your body long term, it's going to be about weightlifting, building muscle, changing your body comp, becoming more mobile. So that's first. 2, the only way to lose weight is through a caloric deficit. And, well, that's by burning more calories or using more than what you take in. So to that goal, we're going to encourage you to, this is kind of my personal take on it, and also quick sort of disclaimer is, if you want to start a plan, see a nutritionist for this. I'm working on that cert now. I can sort of just guide you and give you recommendations, and then for truly the best approach to set you up for success, a nutritionist, and also making sure if you have any other underlying conditions to talk to your doctor before beginning any drastic changes in your movement, exercise, because those can affect your ability to show up and work out. So 80-20. You want to do basically 80. Think of what does Luffy eat? What does Goku eat? Right? It's not a process like ice cream or potato chips, which you could demolish super quick. It's whole foods. It's rice, it's meat. And you basically know what whole foods are. If you look at the label, you know the ingredient, what it is. It's not this emulsifier 5.2 dye B. So pretty simple. Do that. And water. Like, make sure you're drinking water. And if you cut out soda, if you're drinking that now, you'll easily lose some weight because let's say you're at one soda a day. It's 150, 200 calories. Over a week, that's almost 1,500-ish, if not more. To lose a pound, to give you perspective, right? You might not know this, but that's like 3,500-ish calories, right? Just like pure calories of like a pound, right? So you can see right here, if you shift your eating a little bit, you can lose weight just by moving more, because that increases your metabolism because you're burning some more there. You minus like a soda, and then you start weightlifting. Like, you will start very beginning changing your body. And then kind of 2 is you want to prioritize protein, 1 gram per body pound of your goal weight, since it gets a bit wonky if you're above 200 pounds, because 200 grams of protein is a lot. So for example, a serving of chicken is like 8 ounces, around there. Greek yogurt's also really good. Beef, 80-20 or 90-10. There is tofu for a vegetarian option. As a vegetarian, it's going to be very difficult, or vegan, so that you may need to research more and find protein powders to really supplement that, because you're really going to need the protein powder to make that last bit. The protein, so a scoop of protein powder is also like 20, 25. You can do protein bars, but they are processed, so they get really easy to eat, and you can really nom those down pretty quick. And then wrapping this back to a con. So I didn't have anything with the walking, because at cons you're going to walk like 20,000 steps anyway, just because with the whole day. But for the cons, you want to pack nice protein dense snacks. Make sure you're fueled for success. And overall, right, the goal here of eating well is to make sure that if you're working out, you are fueling your body for recovery as well as muscle growth, so you can build the muscle. And this is very like time-based process. So it's like, okay, so we're fueling for success, walking, and then fueling. Part 3. All right, so now the training part. Okay, and we'll skip to it. Taberu, to eat. I feel that's that one you probably have heard if you're studying Japanese. So, okay, so taijutsu from Naruto for physical activities. And I kind of thought it'd be funny if you started in your mind thinking how you can train and be pumped up to train like Goku, Saitama, your favorite anime character. So 2 things to really encourage here. These 2. Ditch the scale mindset, and you got to change your diet. So scale, worst way to measure progress. It's a tool, but don't let it use you. Ditch it for about 2-3 years if you are really serious, because it'll just get in your head and not actually measure your progress. Specifically, I'm speaking to female members of the audience here, because our society really is not... It's not easy. It really encourages you to be skinny or a certain look, and you don't need that. You don't. You can grow muscle, and there are plenty of female fitness influencers, content creators out there that can inspire you. I think that would be very helpful to find those if it's interest to you. There's plenty out there, but even for guys too. Don't use the scale. If down the road you start wanting to do bulking and cutting, really changing your physique, it's a tool to use for a bit, to really create that mindfulness in how you're eating and what you're eating. But in this whole journey, you're going to be becoming more aware of what you're consuming, because you're measuring protein and what you eat. So just starting with that. And then diets, it's... no diet is really going to work for everyone. It's kind of what works for your body, what makes you feel good, and what tastes good. So obviously the real big thing is just focus on the protein, and the rest you can kind of fill out with fat and carbs and not worry about it. And for actual training, compound movements, things like squat, deadlift, bench, rows, any of those, and there's plenty of wonderful, wonderful content creators. I would recommend Mind Pump. They're a podcast, and they have like a sort of like a chatting part of the show, and then they do Q&A. So they have listeners call in, and then they answer the questions, which you may have very similar. Also episodes where they interview people and sort of give their take on some key topics. If you're wanting to learn more, another one, Renaissance Periodization. He is it's a channel, and the main guy, Dr. Mike Israetel, he is New York based, and he gives more of a scientific approach. And there's also like the weightlifting videos, how to lift, things to think about with so everything I'm talking about. There is way more resources out there. I'm hoping to be a guidepost, to be like, go there, ask me, I'll send you there, you'll do your thing, you'll get better, it'll be great. And hopefully you'll like help people around you and level up your friends. And as a society, we will get healthier. Sort of the bigger goal here. And then kind of for cosplay, since we're kind of doing cosplay, better mobility, you could look good, feel good, be confident. And really whatever exercises appeal to you, do those, right? And it be super simple. You can go for 10 minutes once or twice a week to start. Same with the walking, and over time build the habit of showing up for yourself and building muscle. And it really, you don't need to go much to make a impact to your physique and feel better. And feeling better and being able to get old to be like, Master Roshi, Netero. That's the real end goal here. Because don't believe everything you see on the Insta. You have these influencers who give you really bad ideas of like how easy it is, what it's like. They have best lighting. They're probably very likely enhanced. And that's not going to be helpful for the average person. And if you're just starting, it's going to take time, years to build a physique. I'm also working on it. It's a continuous process, right? For learning about yourself, what works for you, what doesn't. So don't look at social and be like, oh man, like get inspired by guys or girls with crazy, cool physiques that, you're like, oh, that'd be cool. And then make small changes to get there on your own speed. Okay, so now that we basically have the main sort of ingredients of our dish, we got to make a keikaku, like L, or Kira, if whoever was your preferred Death Note plot person, or Shikamaru if you prefer Shikamaru. So long term, we want you to change your lifestyle, create habits that change your life and improve it. So start small. Don't have to worry about crazy changes. And I basically want to leave you with a few challenges or takeaways that you can try and do immediately. So one is track your steps for a week and see where you're at, so that way you know your activity, and then you can try and add more, just a couple of days a week, a little bit. You can start small and add more. For working out, you can track. There's plenty of apps and workout programs you look into. I'm not here to really help you design a program, or just to point you in that direction, and then you can kind of figure out what really speaks to you. But for actual tracking, MyFitnessPal, you can track your food for 2 weeks. Same thing. And then see where your basic current metabolic rate. Oh, I had one thing on a slide that now I won't mention. Reverse dieting. That's the concept where we're going to add calories every week. Or like you bump by 100 calories. And then for like 2 weeks, okay. Then that's weeks 1 and 2. Weeks 3 and 4, then you'll bump by another 100 calories. So long term, you're, instead of dieting, cutting calories, you're reverse dieting, adding calories, so your metabolism is higher overall, so that you basically have more wiggle room in case you will mess up. But two, with the cycle of bulking and cutting. So bulking, you're not necessarily like eating crazy, but you have to fuel your body for growth. Versus cutting, where your focus is burning fat while maintaining muscle. And then also, if you're really serious about this and you want to really get into working out, and you want to like be able to measure progress very like no problems, there you're gonna need some pictures and videos. There's a quick little body thing. You kind of just walk in front of the camera just to kind of see like how your body looks, and that way in a year you can say, oh, well, like wow, you can see more definition in your arms, your legs. So yeah, consider those things. I'll have the slides available as well, because that's kind of a fun thing. You can eventually dress up as whatever character you want, and you really deserve a healthy you. That's kind of why I'm here, to help encourage you to start your health and wellness journey. You can follow up with me. I'll happy to give a quick chat, hold you accountable, be an accountability partner to help you make those first few steps and see where that takes you. Because you're the main character in your story. I mean, we all are in our own story. And self-care is super important, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual. Definitely want to encourage you to take care of yourself in whatever way. And that was really sort of the spirit of my panel here, wanting to encourage that, as well as growth and learning. Specifically though, like the weightlifting, super gonna make a difference. You'll feel better. You'll be swole eventually, and you'll be able to eat more and be happier and better hormone profile and stuff like that. So, moving forward, if you made it to here, the last bit of the slide, right? People's dreams have no end. The classic Blackbeard quote. So whatever your dream is, go for it. Think about the plan. You're going to use your step tracker and MyFitnessPal for 2 weeks to kind of get where your body is. And I would say after that, if you want to follow up with me, it'd be like, hey, Adam, broski, I did it. I'll be like, cool. What are you thinking next? And happy to help you sort of just like craft your plan. That was really my overall idea. Happy to offer that to you guys as fellow volunteers and attendees of Anitomo. I think it's a great chance for you to, be your best self. And if you have any questions, you can find me here, because my Gmail is full. So I have this other Gmail and the Instagram. Or you can comment on the video or email me or whatever. So thanks for the time. Appreciate you taking time out of your day to focus on you and learn. And I also will encourage you to find any other podcasts you listen to. Happy to chat about those if you want to share any ideas. Happy to chat anytime. I'm much of a coffee and a walker, so I will happily do my best to make time for those. Anything Japan related, equally happy. Anything Magic the Gathering related, I don't play as much, but happy to chat about that. Anything... What else? Pokemon Go related as well. But yes, thanks again, guys, and appreciate Anitomo, especially Aline and Henrique, for being our fearless leaders and giving us the chance to make a difference and show up and do some fun stuff. So, yeah. Have a nice night, guys. Bye.